Hello and welcome to this video tutorial on project setup in ATLAS.ti 7. I'm going to show you how to set up a single user project and then how to work with internal documents as an option, and then how to back up your project in form of a copy bundle file. I'm trying to keep these tutorials quite short and sweet, so I'm hopefully won't tell you too many things alongside, just the most important bits. So I've opened an empty new hermeneutic unit, no data in here. So I'm still in the habit of clicking on documents new, the old version 6 way of, but this option is also available from the project menu to add documents. So you see there are a number of choices to do that. And basically let me go to the document here because it's off the screen I just saw. So we have a number of choices here to add documents, and yeah, you would need to read up a bit on the theoretical part behind what the libraries are. Essentially, there are two folders on your computer. One is basically referred to as My Library, and the other is Team Library for team projects. And they can be accessed via the public documents, and My Library via My Documents. So it's related to the user login and where you work on your computer. So it's a data archive where Atlas archives all your project data currently for all projects. There are some things changing right now to support teams better, so to have more project-specific libraries. For now, it's a data archive. You have two of those, basically two folders on your computer. So I show you how to enter data via the library, and then I also show you how to work with internal files. Those are then stored with your hermeneutic unit, your project file in Atlas, and there's no library involved here, but it only works for text files only. There will be another tutorial on importing survey data, so look out for that one. So I click on Add Documents, and then I circle to the folder. This is already the material I prepare for the book, the second edition of the Atlas book, and we have a number of sample projects. So we take the children and happiness one here, and I basically highlight all documents that I want to have in there and click on the open button. Now Atlas checks the documents. If we have doc and docx files in there, they are going to be converted. The video files, that was just one little blink there. It's also checked whether Atlas can read it. If there are any issues with any document, Atlas will inform you about that. So there is this checking process whether Atlas can actually handle the file formats. And so sometimes there are issues with doc and docx files, if a missing converter is missing, or the same for video files if a codec is missing. So this is now adding the documents to the project, checking all files. You see now it's adding 6 and then 7, 8, 9, 10 documents. It's probably a bit slow now because I have the video recording going on. And now all these documents are converted and added successfully into the HU. So you can see them here if I open the PDoc list, primary documents, or the PDoc manager by clicking on that button. So the documents are automatically numbered, and these are actually numbering that doesn't really follow, does follow in part advice in the book, but they have numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 because they are documents that serve its purpose for a workshop, so I can communicate with people. Please open document 3 or 5, because you can move documents around. And if I say open P4, and then that could be whatever document 6 or actually document 4 on some people's computer. So what I'm actually advocating is give your documents meaningful file names, meaningful for your purpose. And this is a labeling of documents meaningful for a workshop context or a seminar context. Basically, you can communicate with your students about document 5 or 6 or 7, no matter what people are actually doing with those documents. For analytical purposes, of course, I recommend different types of file names. What you see here as well in the PDoc Manager is this blank field here on the left-hand side, and that's there for grouping documents. So here I know there are 2 documents I could actually refer to as being scientific reports. And these documents are all blog data here, either blogs or comments on the blog I got from the internet. And then we have an image here, but just for the purpose here of showing to you, I've now grouped these 2 documents, the scientific reports and the blog data. And if I click on them, a local filter is evoked that only filters that list. So that so far about a brief introduction here. What you could also do at this point is entering descriptions, source, where you got it from, just the source of the document, or if in case of interview data, it could be interview protocols, for example. So it's basically the summary term here is meta info on your document. So whatever kind of documents you have, you can describe where the document is coming from, something about where it was collected, when it was collected, what your thoughts were when you conducted the interviews, and so on. So this could go into the common field of primary documents. So these are some initial, yes, of course I want to change my comment here. These are the initial things you can do to set up your project, to organize your data, group your documents, by first sorting criteria you have in your head, comment on your documents if you have a description. One other way actually to get documents into your project is via drag and drop. If I'm just taking just a few documents from different projects now for the sake of showing that, you can just drag drop documents in here, and then you will be asked where they should be added to, and we started out with my library, and they will be added into the project. You can also drag drop folders. So you can either go via the main menu, or you can drag drop documents from the file manager into ATLAS.ti, and that also works for complete folders. So if you have structured so what is actually also happening here is the documents are copied into this data archive, and they receive a unique identifier. This is of not particular issue to a single user project, but please watch the video on team projects for work in teams, because there the identifier means that only one person should set up the project and not 3 people at the same time. Another thing you can do to set up a project immediately is enter a memo with your project description, where you then describe what this is all about, and this is maybe a memo on your project. You could also have a memo immediately on where you summarize your main aims of the study, or start with a research diary. So you can set it up via the main menu. You can also open the memo manager and set up your research diary if you have an academic study. So it's all set up what needs to be set up. So this is for saving the memo, and so you can get going. So second last thing I want to show here is how to enter an internal document. That basically works fine if you only have text documents. So this sample study already has some PDF and it has image, has video data. But if you have like 10 interviews and nothing more that you want to add to that, you can basically work with internal files. So you don't have no data in the library. It is all internal in your AHU file. So what you need to do is you copy and paste the document from Word. So this is what I'm just doing. I cut it, copy it. So I highlighted it, copied all of that, and yes, I still want to have that material. So now I go and say new text document. This happens to be also the Belkin's, or is that a comments, I think, comments on Belkin log, if I Belkin log, this is small letters here, and then it opens up an empty document and immediately starts in editing mode. So that button immediately is activated by Atlas, so now I can paste. And your document is in here. So the best thing, if you have 10, 12 documents, it also works fine if you have a few more in terms of size of your AHU. You just have Atlas and Word open alongside, and you can just copy paste those documents. So once the document is inserted, you go and leave the edit mode. So please never, also if you edit documents later, stay in open edit mode when you code. Go to save and leave. I've heard some people kind of saying it's also, if they transcribe, that, well, we started a new document and then the next time we couldn't access it anymore because I then forgot to click on that button again. So once, if you close and reopen ATLAS.ti, then the documents, all documents are write protected, because you don't want to mark a segment and then to code basically, and then hit the delete button by accident or whatever, and remove something you didn't want to remove. So everything is write protected, but if you want to correct a typo or something like that, you can always enter edit mode by either clicking here or clicking on that button, and the edit mode is activated. So you see that all of these options are colorful. And now this is no longer write protected. I can go in and make some changes. And once I'm done, I go to save and leave edit mode. If you have lots of changes to make, maybe go to save only a couple of times in between, because we never know what's happening. If this document is already coded, you're in edit mode and your computer crashes for whatever reason, does not have to do anything with ATLAS.ti, and you haven't saved it, you lose all that stuff. So you have to go save and leave edit mode, and the next thing is always to save the AHU. We haven't done that at all yet, so we need to do this in any case. But if you edit, then I'll just put it here for the sake right now, and so I just call it sample project. It's always two steps. If you edit, click on the edit button, save and leave, then also save your AHU to make this permanent. Yeah, so now we have all the documents in here, we saved the families, we saved the memos, and so on. So now our project is safe for the moment, but I'm working on a laptop, so if that laptop I lose it, or it's stolen or whatever, or something happens to it, well, of course that project is gone. So to be on the safe side, I recommend after each work session, even if it just means to set up the project and I think I have to move this over here so you can actually see something. It's always off the screen here, at least off my recording screen. That's not so nice, but it's under project. You find an option, save copy bundle. You do find that option also here. So I use this option now here, so you can actually see it. So save copy bundle. So now it collects all the documents that it needs from the library for this particular project. I can deactivate some documents if I don't want to have the video file in here, for example. It tells me the uncompressed size of the documents, 1.65 megabyte, plus the size of the HU. So even if you work on the HU file is still rather small. If it's over 1 megabyte, you have written lots of memos and comments. So it tells you the size. Having something up to 1 or 2 gigabytes is still fine. But if you go above a gigabyte size, then please create partial copy bundle files. So now you select the documents that you want to have in there. If you want all, click on create bundle, and you can think of it like a zip file. And it has the same name as your project plus the extension ATLAS.ti for Atlas copy bundle file, and you click on save. So it's basically 2 steps. You save your HU file and then you go to project, save as copy bundle file. This copy bundle file can be safely stored also in the Dropbox or in the cloud. We do not recommend to work in the clouds, also not for adding documents. So also for creating this project, move the documents, download them from wherever you have them, put them on your desktop or put them in any folder on your computer locally, and then add them to your project. That has to do with reconstructing project in case something goes wrong. It's always better if it has been created from a local drive and not from a cloud. But never ever work actively on the cloud. Clouds are synchronized across different devices, and then Atlas cannot really manage your projects anymore. Oh, by the way, one other thing I need to show you is in the PDoc manager. You see that these documents are in the library and this document is in the HU. So this is really inside the hermeneutic unit file. If by accident you have added a document to the wrong library, you go and, well, you have to select documents first. Let's say, oh, we didn't actually want to have my library, I wanted to have the team library. So you highlight the documents, go to data source management and say copy selected documents to team library. So in case you started off with the wrong library, so you do have that option as well. Another quick option to create partial bundles, you highlight the documents you want to have in there. You go to data source management and then you have the option bundle selected PD. Again, I have an issue now that this is off the screen. It's here now. Now you can see it. So you have the option here, bundle selected PD. It opens the copy bundle window, but it includes the selected document. So that's an easy way of creating smaller bundle files. Yeah, so that's basically it. How to set up a project and how to get going. So see you in some other video tutorials on what comes after setting up the project. So basically beginning your coding work. Bye bye.